Perfect. Perfect. Perfect.
Hey guys, 3D Crypto here. Hope everyone's doing well. And guys, what a week it's been. Obviously, if you've been following crypto in any capacity, you would have known that we had this great crypto crash last Wednesday. And there was a lot of factors that led to the crash, and there was a lot of opinions floating around online, on Twitter, on social media about what's going on. Are we in a bear market now? Is the ball over? Why did this happen? What's going on? And everyone's got different opinions. Everyone comes forward in the crypto space. And obviously, as we all know, everyone has their own kind of motive for pushing a certain narrative. Some people like concentrating on things such as trading and tactical analysis. Obviously, that does work to an extent if you know what you're doing and you are focusing more on short-term gains and losses. But for the longer term, I personally don't think analysis of charts is even something to like hold any weight for, because at the end of the day, crypto is such a volatile asset. I do agree there are certain crypto cycles that are followed over certain periods of time, but those cycles, I honestly believe after the couple of years we've had, those cycles may not be as in sync as most people think they are. So let me just quickly run through what happened. So last Wednesday, and this is the reason I didn't put a video out straight away. I wanted to see kind of what happened to the market and how everything plays out. Me, as I said, I'm not too deeply focused on short-term losses and gains. I'm not too focused on analysis. I think crypto is the long play. It's for the holders. And then obviously at certain opportunities, you take profit and you buy the dip. But I'll just go through exactly what's happened. So if I look at the 1 year chart and we look at Bitcoin, and we see that they are historically, they are pumps, and then you do get a crypto crash with the price dumps. This is basically focused on Bitcoin for the moment, but this does relate to the whole cryptocurrency market in general. And then you can see again, obviously back in 2021 in February, we had this nice peak and we hit $65,000. Then we had a pullback down to 46, and this happens fairly commonly throughout crypto, and it's around certain events like the Bitcoin halving. And you guys can go ahead and do some research on Google and YouTube what the Bitcoin halving is, but it just basically increases the difficulty of Bitcoin mining. And then historically, after a halving, after a certain period, you get a increase in price, and then as always you get a decrease and then a bounce. If we look at the latest Bitcoin crash, as we can call it, so it was last Wednesday. So last Wednesday, we kind of hit this high in May, and we hit the highs. I think it was about just under $60,000. It's 57,000, and then the price just literally fell off a cliff. There was no reason for it. Well, there was reason for it, but it was like it was just falling off a cliff, and the price literally crashed. At the lowest that I saw it on some exchanges, it was at around about $30,000 on some exchanges. But on the broad spectrum of a lot of the exchanges, the average was about 31,000 to 32,000. And there was people just panicking. There was a lot of panic selling going on, and people didn't understand what was going on. So it was a few factors that contributed to this so-called crash. So of course, there's always news. So the price was kind of going down slowly, but not at an extent that it should be. And the price was going down, but then the alt started seeing reds, then Bitcoin was in the red and it was going down, and then there was FUD coming out. So FUD meaning basically fear and uncertainty and disinformation. So that was all coming out, and people were saying, oh, China is going to go ahead and ban cryptocurrency, not reading through the entire statement and the entire article, because obviously the article was from a Chinese source, so it was in Mandarin, they translated to English and then circulated on social media, and the narrative was that crypto was being banned in China, when in truth, China was enforcing institutions, financial institutions, to stop accepting or trading Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, which meant basically if you are in China, you can still hold cryptocurrency. It wasn't um, a problem for retail consumers, but obviously it led to a lot of misinformation, and Bitcoin crashed to around about 50%. It crashed down by 50% in the space of literally 5 days, and the price just crashed and crashed and crashed, and then it led to like more crashing, and then obviously our good friend Elon Musk from Tesla Motors also threw in his 2 cents, and he basically started off. He was a big Bitcoin advocate. He was a big Dogecoin advocate as well, and he would go up on Twitter and say certain things about Bitcoin, and saying obviously Tesla now accepts Bitcoin and Tesla is holding Bitcoin. Then there were articles being released and Twitter statements where Elon was saying that he's concerned about the Bitcoin mining transactions and how it affects the environment, which me personally, I didn't really pay much attention, but the retail market, the wider media, especially the media concerned regarding cryptocurrency and finances, they ran with that story, and so obviously that increased to more selling, more people being uncertain, because a lot of people that have got into cryptocurrency recently, they got in at around about this time, at the good times in the last 6 months, so they had never seen a dip before. So they came in at when Bitcoin was 50,000 plus, and they saw this dip and they panicked. They started selling. As they sold, big institutions, I think, also sold off large bags, because they reached a certain tipping point where they realized that if we have this organic sell, which starts from misinformation and news outlets promoting certain articles, and retail starts selling off, and once they reach a certain point, if they went ahead, if these big institutions and people that want to basically have a sell-off, if they started selling, they would drop the price down so rapidly that everyone that was trading on the leverage markets and they were longing Bitcoin, they knew there was a certain point, and that point could be $35,000, it could be $34,000. They knew if that price went and hit that $34,000 mark, it would liquidate all of these people. And then once all these people got liquidated, it just started this spiral effect, because once you liquidate, it's literally another red candle, and the price drops down even further and further and further. And that's what we had. We had basically the perfect storm. So it was a profit taking, where people that had been in crypto for a while, and they were basically just taking profits from the people that came in later. That started. Then there was misinformation. There was Elon Musk. He was tweeting about Bitcoin, and there was the China information. That all happened. On top of that, I personally think there was a sell-off from big institution, and the reason they done that sell-off and they triggered this whole crash was they literally wanted to get in at a lower point. They wanted to get in at a lower point. They wanted that volume, and the only way to make that volume appear is they had to manipulate the markets in certain ways, and that was through misinformation. That was through increasing fear around cryptocurrency and Bitcoin in particular, and then liquidating traders that were leverage trading and they were longing Bitcoin, which basically meant they were hedging or betting on Bitcoin continuing to rise in price. And then when you leverage trade, the biggest fear in leveraging is you can get liquidated. And what liquidation means is you lose your whole position, which basically, to put it simply, is you lose everything. In traditional holding of assets, the asset value decreases, but you still hold onto the asset. So if Bitcoin was to go to $30,000 and you had one Bitcoin, you would still have one Bitcoin, but it would be worth $30,000. And then obviously in the future, if it went up, it would go up as well, because you still have that one Bitcoin. When you're leverage trading, you're literally putting up that Bitcoin as a gamble and saying, hey, I think that Bitcoin is going to keep going up, but then the exchange will say, all right, fine, you're leveraging, you're using our money or our funds to kind of 10x on your investment or 10x on your leverage trade. And in lieu of that, if the price of Bitcoin goes below a certain amount, for example, say $35,000, we're going to liquidate you, which basically means we take your asset, we take your Bitcoin and we'll sell it off and we'll cover our losses through this leverage that you placed. So that's exactly what happened. So people were literally getting liquidated left, right, and center on different exchanges, and the free fall started. And this happened on Wednesday, and I woke up, I saw the news, and I saw the dip. And I've been in crypto for a while now. I've seen these dips happen before, and I always see it as a buying opportunity. I think, yep, this is the time to go in and get some cheap Bitcoin. You always get it. People will ask the question, "Oh, I wish I had bought Bitcoin when it was at $30,000. I wish I had bought Bitcoin when it was lower." And I'm thinking, right, this is the opportunity to go and buy. And the volume was there, so we could see the price. I wasn't expecting a bounce straight off $30,000, but you could see the volume. There was activity. People were buying. The retail investors had been shaken out, and now institutions and people in the know and people that had been in crypto for any length of time, they understood this was the buying opportunity. So me, like a lot of people that were in crypto for a while, they headed over to exchanges like Binance, and they headed over to Coinbase, and inevitably the exchanges were down. You couldn't log into Coinbase. You couldn't execute a trade on Binance. And I saw that, and I saw the opportunity. I'm thinking, wow, this opportunity is here. I want to go ahead and buy at that $30,000 mark where this red candle was. Like I'm trying to buy at this point, and I can't because the exchange is so much volume going on. But the price was still bouncing off afterwards. You had this green candle. So you have to ask the question, if these exchanges are down, how is this green? Who's buying? And that's where you've got to understand. Big institution, big organizations, they do not buy crypto off exchanges like Binance and Coinbase. They do over-the-counter trading. They go direct to the market, and they buy Bitcoin in bulk. And that's what they wanted to do. In my opinion, I think there was a big move from finance, from institutions. They needed volume. They needed their appetite to be fed. And the only way to do it was to cause a crash. So this crash all the way down, people are selling, 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 selling. There was no kind of green candles. It was just a straight sell-off. If you had looked at the depth markets, it was literally a cliff. So it was the opposite. So at the moment, everyone's buying, 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 and there's people selling, but not a lot. But it was the opposite way. On Wednesday, it was the green was a flat line, and the red, it was a cliff, and people were just selling left, right, and center on these exchanges. And I knew from afar, I was like, yeah, that's fine for a short-term play. People did make a hell of a lot of money. If people understood crypto markets and they saw this sell-off happening, they would have sold at 60,000 and rebought back in at 30,000. And a lot of people did try doing that, but they missed the opportunity. Some people sold at 35,000 thinking, right, this is going to go to 30,000, we'll buy back in. They never got the opportunity to buy back in because these exchanges all locked up due to the pressure being put on top of it by retail investors. And as I said, the institutions and everyone else that was causing this crash to happen, they don't buy Bitcoin, they don't buy crypto on traditional exchanges. They go direct to the market, and they don't have the same issues that retail investors have. So that's what happened. And then I went into YouTube, and I saw everyone was like pushing as a story for this cycle of Bitcoin crashing. And it was like, oh, the bear market here is here, the bull market is now officially over. And that was a narrative, and it was being pushed very, very heavily by a lot of YouTubers, especially YouTubers that do a lot of TA. And they look at the charts in depth, and that's all they do. And there was headlines like, I lost $1 million worth of Bitcoin, this is very bad, this is the end, the Bitcoin bear market is starting, and etc., etc. And this kept happening and happening and happening. Me personally, I just looked back at this, and I thought, you know what, I don't really put a big emphasis on crypto charts. I do believe there are patterns. I do believe there are patterns in that indicate what could happen when you look at things historically. I do believe that if you look at just a historical chart here, you can see we get the same type of patterns forming over a certain period of time. So you can see here you have a dip, and then it goes up, and then it dips again, then it goes, you have mini dips, and you have that huge push, and then you get that crash, and then we're looking for that bounce off here. Now that bounce could happen literally overnight, it could take weeks, it could take months, and then obviously the longer it takes, the more people start saying, yep, we're in a bear market. and the bull market is now over. I personally feel this does hold some weight, because obviously if you look at the charts, it just makes sense that it does hold some weight. But I truly feel now that the way the markets are at the moment are very different, because circumstances have changed so much. Back in 2018, when this bear market began, there was no such thing as stimulus checks for people. People weren't sitting at home for a year plus looking at ways to make money. People didn't know in 2018. I think the adoption of crypto wasn't as big as it is now. So all of these factors, they also contribute to what potentially can happen, which is what everyone wants to know. They want to know what potentially can happen. And if you go to a lot of YouTubers, they basically go online and they say this can happen, that can happen. The truth is, no one knows. No one knows. Unless you're one of these big financial institutions and you are trying to push a certain kind of market condition, no one knows. If you're looking at charts, you are basically at the mercy of whatever these big institutions do if you are buying and selling in the short term. The only way you can truly win in Bitcoin is you do not look at the charts at the 1 month or the 7-day or the daily chart. You look at the chart at the year to date. You look at the 1 year chart, and then you look at the trend and you look at where we're at, and you understand this is a long-term play. We are basically here. Back in 2021, we were here in January, and we had a pullback, and it went up, and you get the higher highs and the lowers, and the lows are no longer the low lows. The lows are getting higher, and the highs are getting higher. So you need to look at that. If you look at the chart all day, we are just getting started. This is literally the start. You can see at 2017 we had that little crash. Well, we say little now, but at the time it was a huge crash. We went from $18,000 and we were in this long bull market, and we went down low as $6,000. You look at that peak down there and you compare that to the peak that we had in April and May, and you understand that this is nothing. This little dip that we're having, you look at the low of this dip is nothing. We are just getting started. So the way I see it is just hold. That's what I'm doing. I am just holding cryptocurrency, buying the dips, especially with cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin and Ethereum. Established crypto. The play for established crypto, in my opinion, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Binance, to an extent, Cardano. These cryptocurrencies are long-term plays. You buy the dip. So when you feel you basically dollar cost average in, you look at when you bought in, can you buy more at a cheaper price? Can you increase your holdings? Yeah, if you can do, go for it. Yeah, you can sell profits off every now and then once you reach certain times, like when Bitcoin hit $64,000 on some exchanges and $60,000. I sold some positions. It wasn't Bitcoin. It was more the altcoins, and you take profits. That's the whole point of crypto. You take profits, but you don't sell the whole bag at 60,000 and then just expect it to drop to 30,000. You buy another bag at 30,000, and you're potentially, you can do that if you're psychic and you know exactly what's going to happen, and you can track every single movement of the chart. But 99% of the population, we can't sit in front of a computer all day. We don't have all the information to hand. We are basically just taking a risk, and if you basically go ahead and take that risk over a short period of time, 99% of the time you will lose. If you play the risk over a longer period of time, that's when you'll see more wins. So guys, my advice to everyone is look at the charts, but don't pay too much attention to them. What you really need to do is focus on the long-term implications of cryptocurrency, the long-term benefits of cryptocurrency, and that's when you'll truly understand the power and the value of what you have. So if you don't have cryptocurrency, this isn't financial advice, but now it's a very good time to go ahead and pick some cryptocurrency up, especially Bitcoin, Ethereum, some Binance coin, and just hold on to it, because we will eventually hit that trend where we're going to go ahead and break out, and we're going to break out from, so if I look at the 1 week chart here again, so this has gone down, we are going to go breaking up again. So that's that in the short term. if you know what you're doing, yeah, go ahead, sell a bit of cryptocurrency every now and then, make some profits. That's what it's there for. But don't pay too much attention to tweets from Elon Musk. Don't pay too much attention from mainstream media pushing certain narratives about crypto plummeting and it's the end of crypto. And don't pay too much attention to YouTubers saying Bitcoin's going to zero, because in the end of the day, a lot of these YouTubers that say Bitcoin's going to zero, they want you to go ahead and buy a course from them that will tell you how to day trade, and that's basically how they're going to be making money, because they're selling fear, they're selling off that. So the best thing to do is listen to all the news around you, but don't pay too much attention to it. Don't make emotional decisions. As we can see, even Elon, one day he'll say, "Oh, Bitcoin is very bad to the environment," and it crashes 20%, and then Elon goes to clarify speculation, Tesla has not sold any Bitcoin. So you've got to take everything what people say with a grain of salt. And then people start correlating Bitcoin prices to Elon's tweets. And when you think if one person is doing a certain thing, an institution and media are doing a certain thing, what are they benefiting from? Who owns the media? Who pushes the narrative? And if you agree with my thinking, I think it's big financial institutions. They wanted to shake out the weak hands, the retail investors that were weak and scared, and they shook them out, and then they bought up all this Bitcoin. They needed that volume, and now they're happy. They've got their position set, and now they're going to sit back and use that Bitcoin, and they're going to start bearing the profits of it once it starts going back up. So guys, that's pretty much what happened over the last 7 days. It's been about 6 days since it all went down. This great crypto crash. I'm not calling this a crypto crash. I don't think we're in a bear market. I think we're just in a very good position for Bitcoin, where a lot more eyes are focused on it. A lot more people are trying to manipulate Bitcoin, and that's actually a good thing. It's a bad thing if you're going to be selling Bitcoin off every single bit of information, then yeah, it's a bad thing. But the more this gets manipulated and the more people understand who's manipulating it, and that if they don't succumb to the FUD, then they're going to come out winning. Because if big finance and big institutions are manipulating Bitcoin to get it at a cheaper price, and then predicting that it's going to go up, or hedging that it's going to go up highly, and then you have this asset that they also have, then if they win, you win. And as we all know, big finance, big institution, they always win. So this is your opportunity to get on a level playing field with big institution. Guys, what do you think about cryptocurrency and that crash that we just had? I would like to hear from you guys. Leave your comments down below. It's always interesting to hear from you guys, your opinion. It's also good to hear from you guys, like, where are you holding your cryptocurrency at the moment? I've got some on a ledger, stuff like Bitcoin, Ethereum, I'm holding a ledger. Things like Binance Coin, I'm holding it in certain projects. I'm putting it to work, making some passive income. I spoke about all the products I'm involved in on my channel. So if you guys also have crypto that you want to hold, don't want to sell, but still want to earn off it, then go ahead and check out my previous videos. There will be a project that I'm pretty sure will excite you, and you will go ahead and also learn more about cryptocurrency. So guys, that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you guys, any one of my subscribers, over the 3,000 we've got in the 3D crypto team, I hope none of you guys sold any Bitcoin at a loss. I hope if you did so, you made a good positive return on it. But if you're still holding, diamond hands like Elon says, hold your crypto. You're gonna thank your crypto in the long term, because this crypto, if you treat it nice, if you show the faith in it, and you hold out, and you don't get drawn in to selling and the panic, inevitably, if you can't help yourself to sell at panic, just don't look at the charts. Don't look at the charts. Look at your portfolio. Don't look at the dollar value of it. Just look at how much you've got and accumulate. Accumulate your Bitcoin position, your Ethereum position, your Binance Coin position. Do that on a regular basis. Don't ignore the US dollar value. There's a saying, you only lose when you sell. And if you're not looking to sell, the US dollar value or the fiat value doesn't affect you. Hold your crypto, make it work for you. You work hard for your crypto, make that crypto work hard for you. Don't be one of the people that sells, and then inevitably big finance, big institutions, they basically win and you lose. That's the whole aim of this. All the misinformation, read between the lines, do your own research, go online, and form your own opinions, and research and learn about the market you're in. It's all well and good having crypto, but please go ahead, research and learn. If you're only new to crypto and you've only been in it for 6 months or a year, go and look back what happened 3, 4, 5 years ago, and then you'll see exactly where we are at, and it'll make a lot more sense. So guys, as I said, please do leave comments, questions, views down below, or contact me from my social medias. If any questions for me, please do contact me. If you've got anything that you'd want me to talk about, please do let me know. Any projects you're involved in, any coins that you have, it could be Dogecoin, Shiba Coin, Bitcoin, Ethereum, whatever. Let me know, guys. It's always interesting to hear from my subscribers. And guys, as I always said, you work hard for your crypto, make your crypto work hard for you. If you enjoyed this video, please do hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon to be notified of my latest content as and when it is uploaded. So guys, I hope you guys are doing well. Hope you guys are sticking with crypto, and I hope no one's been put off crypto by what they've seen over the last week. It's only going to get better. It can get worse. I know it's a bit of a cliche. It can get worse. It will get worse. It will, but it's only bad when you sell. If you're playing this for the long term, I am pretty confident that this is going to work out. Crypto is here to stay. It's not going anywhere. People might say China's banning it. Elon might say we're not using it anymore. But we all know crypto is here to stay. It is the future. It is going to take over fiat eventually. So get in at this time. You'll thank your crypto. That I know for a fact. So guys, that's it for today's video. Hope you enjoyed it. And as I always say, guys, you work hard for your crypto. Make that crypto work hard for you. Until my next video, take care.